Lama dam gumbo jimba yang lan chan zai lu. Onge lon jen jen yen jen zha nyen dai nam da ra sa wen jen yen dung guen je jen zi nye jen du ge le bam zen kan da si bin zen ra ma ri Dozo kun lan bu jin da zi yen lan zhu ju yang den sun zhu den jit nye mo nye long le jie chao zhu zhu zi jen ma ri men zin dong ai nyu gu jin ye jin zi ra ji Denen da jin sa jin da zi yen den li zo ja zin du we gu chu zhan jit Chunyin jindin dalim menzin jambi online diyo marapazana 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 Umara Bazana de 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 Umara Bazana Umara Bazana de Zedin Jeje Chara Zedin Dalen de Mon Kadon denje jonglo dongpai lonje bobe no andu zo lonje more nanji more janze jora so da majeba polo jinje jinje beje jindo jema me bala guera dende dembo jonglo baji me bone ja da jinje jo joan zera namje do tuje jezo de barze do zo kabisha na me mon bezara zembe no da Sembezu zindu barendo kan mi gende zeju tuje dama kune ju inji danzum ji kwanjo be duonga monka be jebe tren dale zo jenzo lende me no bozere de nandu ranjen inji do zindu be jen den jombar pe ma june dale yenzo ju goro do ya dewa dan tome nyen jolon ji kendo ju ben ji nan ni bozo Zami jinjo namje dae jong Kore de galin jini bego Nindengun jongbe we shazal do Nyingi dinsi bebe nanjurba Chime vezre jabje dae jong Rinjon jimba shina jinale Ngongi lone bo bende jindo Nungo jinde janze mawanjur Mibam jambi anje dae jong Kongi dala ribalo badan Tuji dinje minano azu Lapanza da ombur shinale Mwiji jinje name dae jong Jinyu Bamenda Yeshaza Punjara Judu Jimbi Jikala Mendanawa Paden Lame Jajenda Ejumo Sanjay Kundanaya Kadin Sanjay Kundan Habibin Savila Jula Zoande Tazon Rue Lamna Chela Jur Konga Jidongi Jidena Dejela Manjur Baba Zonda Jibebe Sembran devada dan de je namoya namba lai ke dalu dan jinge rupam da dame ke nanda dua kunje danam je zamba tamje ke do so surate je majanam ke thadanyam de semjen tamje nam dol den je deva anam ba yang da zo be sanje jin bhagwan ru china chine jam go sha e che do Tiba chendu shunglu, jazi chenpo shiva la, teni ji zirbe, shung chenpo, chanju sindi, jirba lan jirba, the nutrition to send me. Nyamso Lama Jo Yamdo, Sambachan Jucho to Jabana Chit sense hall. So generate bodhicitta or awaken mind in this way that for the sake of motherly sentient beings, in order to liberate and lead them to complete enlightenment. For that purpose, I'm going to listening this Mahayana scripture composed by Shandideva to call the way of Bodhisattva's life. And then whatsoever I understand, I will try my best to put into practice with that kind of intention. Listen this teaching. And then while listening this teaching, also the manner or the conduct that should be in this way, that listen carefully in an excellent way, and then try to hold it. And based on the preparing to engaging into this meritorious activity of listening Dharma teaching, and then we're going to begin with this actual teaching of way of Bodhisattva's life. The actual teaching, it has this 10 chapter and 4 main themes. Among this, that 5 chapter we completed. The first theme we completed, and then the second theme. Today we are here in the 6th chapter, which is still in a second theme, which is how to not let transgress this bodhisattva's vow, and how to not to lose this bodhicitta, and how to maintain it. And for that purpose, that the second theme that it recommended, Shantideva recommended that person whoever wants to practice the Mahayana path or the way of Bodhisattva's life, then must receive this Bodhisattva's vow, and then after that must maintain this Bodhisattva's vow. So in order to maintain, what it is really needed are the sense of carefulness, and then mindfulness and introspection, and then the patience. So the first 2 that we completed, how to have this sense of carefulness and introspection, and how to engage into those 3 stages of discipline, morality. And then now today here that we begin also the another quality which is required in order to not to let transgress this bodhisattva's vow, absolutely. And then also that in general that the patient, that from the patient is the also kind of like not to just the maintain the bodhisattva's vow, but this patience is also very much relevant and necessary for our day-to-day life as well. The not only purpose of this maintaining bodhisattva's vow, but also the brighter view or the greater point of view, this patience is something very important, that if anyone know how to be patient, then that person can live even day-to-day life in a very kind of like peace and calm. So therefore this patience, this chapter 6, it's all talking about the patient. And then this patient teachings, that it begins with this now. The first stanza, which is the kind of like the kalpatong sabai leche jindan de shechue laso leche kan de kunjang kongroji ki chongbar chase, which is here in this translation, that all the good works gathered in 1,000 age, such as deed of generosity and offering to the blissful ones, and so forth. A single flash of anger shattered them. So now, so this from here, this until this stanza, kind of like a 10, stanza 1 to stanza 10, it is all talking about the what do you call kind of like the fault of anger, and then how to kind of like they controlled this anger a little bit. It gives a little bit of this. Mainly this 10 stanza is talking about the fault of the disadvantage of being anger. So the anger, absolutely, the kind of like the to to reduce the anger, that exact antidote for the anger is being patient. Being patient can reduce this anger. And then now that why we need to be patient, and then generally the one the patient is the one greatest conditions for us to not to transgress this our bodhisattva's vow, as well as also in general the kind of like the patient is the one thing that which can protect us to not to destroy or remove all the our meritorious or the fortune or the merits, and as well as also the patient is the one could avoid this kind of like the uncomfort, the unhealthy body and unhealthy mind as well. So therefore, so this patient is kind of like very necessary for our day-to-day life as well. And not being able to patient, the opposite of the patient. Patient can be disturbed by anger, and then anger can be disturbed by patient as well. So these two kind of like an antidote each other. So now from here, it is to understand how patient is important, and then it is introducing the opposite of patient, which is anger. How the kind of like the disadvantage of having anger within oneself, and it is describing this first stanza. The first stanza is actually kind of like the describing the what do you call the one, how to say, the very cognitive, how can I say that, cognitive of cognitive fault of being anger. So the cognitive fault of being anger, this first stanza, the really meaning is this cognitive fault of anger. It is describing, so that how it is describing, as just we read this one, all the good works gathered in the 1,000 age. Here actually this they translated this 1,000 age, which is kind of like a make it a little bit light. Actually Shantideva says 1,000 eon, not 1,000 age. 1,000 age means year, right? 1,000 year. 1,000 year and 1,000 eon is very big difference. What Shantideva was saying here is the 1,000 eon. Kalpa Tong. Kalpa is the eon. Tong means the 1,000. The thousands of eon, that what we accumulated, the merit through performing the excellent, through performing excellent virtuous action. It's saying lecture kind. Jindan de Shichun is, oh yeah. So the 1,000 eons, during the 1,000 eons, whatsoever we accumulated, the karma, the excellent karma, through generosity activity, actions, engaging into generosity actions, and then the offering actions, and so forth. That Nagarati Shantideva was saying, and so forth. That mainly this this stanza has so many kind of like a question raising through these stanzas, many doubts, many questions arising. First, let me just say it. So it is saying the kind of like the merit that which we accumulated by engaging into this generosity and offering and so forth, and so forth. All those excellent deeds, all of this can be destroyed by single anger. Can be destroyed by single anger. Here, a single flash of anger shudder them. So that's how they say now. Now, this first of all, this is something very cognitive. That kind of like it is something that not really obvious, that we can see that single anger is destroying our this 1,000 eons. It is very cognitive. It is very kind of like even kind of like unobvious. Absolutely, we are generally actually we are unable to see our previous life. How can we see our eons merit of generosity and offering all these things? This is something very cognitive, but that so here it is saying this kind of like the gathered or the accumulate the merit through or by engaging into those generosity and offering and so forth, all those excellent deeds, the merit whatsoever we have. Many of this, countless number of this, can be destroyed by single anger, which is something I told you very cognitive, but this cognitive to make it little, how to say, to make it sense, this how it can possible, that I can give you one example. So example like kind of like let's say, even this is the example to understand this meaning, how it is possible, because since this is not obvious, since this is something kind of like a unseenable, that we cannot, even maybe we cannot imagine this, how it can destroy like that. If then in accordance with this stanza, and there are also many questions too. So if that the case, and then there's no one can achieve enlightenment, because there's no being in this world that not getting single moment of anger. So every time when people get single moment of anger, and their all merit is gone. That kind of doubt, many are there. But first, let me clarify this one, that since this is kind of like a very cognitive, very kind of like unpredictable, how can we understand that single moment of anger can destroy that much merit? Not just one life, 2 life, 3 life, eons, which means it can be like our thousands of life, gathering the merit of thousands life simply can destroy by one anger, which is very cognitive. First, let me clarify this to try to let you, let you to understand by this example. Let me give you this example first. That normally, that even within our day-to-day life, that when we build relationship, when we build the friend relationship or whatsoever, believe, trust each other, and how long it takes to gather this all belief and trust and relationship, harmony. It takes years and years to build, isn't it? That to build relationship, good relationship, harmony, trust, belief, it takes like years and years, even not guarantee that can build properly 100%. Still, there may be some doubt there. It is very difficult to build this, even the ordinary relationship, the trust or the belief or the harmony between each other. But let's say, even we build very good relationship and trust each other and then harmony each other. In order to build this very well, 100% sure, it takes several years for sure. It cannot be built within 1 month, 1 year, and then 1 week, 1 day. There's no way that we can have a trust and belief on each other and harmony and kind of a very good relationship with each other. Good relationship means belief and the trust, trusting each other, believing each other is the one source of good relationship, harmony. Without that, there will be no genuine harmony. Harmony will be there. There will be no real, genuine friendship or relationship. It's very difficult. We just no need to say difficult. We can just say it is impossible without belief, without trust. But to build trust, even within this ordinary relationship, that how long it takes to build that, and the kind of like per several years is for sure almost. And then now, on the other hand, to destroy this belief, and to kind of like destroy that harmony, destroy that trust, destroy that relationship, only need one single moment. Only need one single moment when we get really mad and anger to that person, that we're going to destroy all this relationship. That we're going to ruin all this relationship. That is very simple. This is kind of like I'm trying to giving you an example to understand a little bit. And even many things, the kind of like destroying is much more easier than buildings. Even a house, it takes months and months to complete. But to destroy, 2-3 days, it's gone. Like that, buildings and country, everything. To build, it takes very long. To destroy, it is very short moment. It can be diminished. It can be destroyed completely. So through this understanding, this is something we have experienced. We don't have to ask anybody. This is very obvious that single moment of anger can ruin our relationship, our belief, our trust, our harmony. That's very obvious. That's very experiential that we are experiencing it. And likewise, another example like destroying house, destroying buildings. These are also like that. It doesn't take much to get rid of, but it takes very long to build. So through this kind of like a sense or the logic that we can understand a little bit, makes sense that this single moment of anger could destroy this great amount of merit that which we accumulated or built it. Similar, right? That we built it, eons and eons we built it, this marriage, like a building, like a relationship, like a trust, like a belief, can be destroyed by this one moment of anger. This one moment of anger is like an atom bomb or the nuclear bomb nowadays, whatsoever we want to call. So those nuclear bomb, atom bomb can destroy this city, that like this Toronto city, how long it takes to complete all this city, make up this city, that we took it like decades and decades to build this. It can be destroyed easily by one atom bomb, and then it's all completely gone. The Toronto is gone. So like that, through utilizing those sense or those examples, can give us a little bit of understanding this very cognitive. Which one? Yeah, keep it, okay? We can discuss later. Just note it down. So that one kind of like this is through this example. Why I am telling you all this example is through this example, using this intelligence to analyzing in this way, that we can get some idea to understand this very cognitive meaning that what Shantideva was trying to provide in here. It is very cognitive meaning. He is saying eons, 1,000 eons of accumulated merit can be destroyed by single anger. So normally we are unable to see our own previous life. So how can I see my eons of lives before that accumulating this merit? So this is very cognitive. So this very cognitive meaning can be understood by this example. I'm hoping that this example gives us to understand a little bit of this very cognitive meaning. And then there's many doubt, many questions raised by these stanzas. Then as I told you earlier, the question raised like this. So if that the case, then no one will able to achieve enlightenment, because this enlightenment is the result of merit. The the two types of merit, right? The merit and wisdom. The enlightenment is the result of merit and wisdom. Since this merit that in this world, that human beings, there's almost we can point it out like there's no one human beings that not getting anger within their life. So just one single anger is very much good enough to destroy your eons of merit. So you need to very careful hold your life. And that is almost that we can say by being a human and not getting angry within their life. Oh. What do you think? What do you think? Is that possible? Is that? Yeah, absolutely. This is very common sense, right? Common sense that not getting anger whole life. Even within a year, not getting anger, it's also maybe very challenging. And then go to within a month, within a week, within a day. How? What do you think? Within a day, it's possible? Within a day? Oh, sure. Agree. It's possible. And then within a week? Maybe. Now not sure. And then within a month? Big maybe. And then year? No. You see? Okay, then even though you get one anger in year, right? Every year you at least getting one moment of anger. Then how old are you right now? So let's say 50. Then you get 50 angers. So this 50, each of these 50 angers is destroying the 1,000 eons merit. So now, how many 1,000 eons merit already destroyed by you? Right? Therefore, they raise this question. This is something, then how it, or say, if you don't understand this properly, this stanza meaning, then it might get misunderstood by this or all this. Then it almost like making impossible that human being can achieve enlightenment. That kind of question is there. To clarify that, it explaining this meaning of this stanza in a kind of like the divided into three, and then you need to understand this. That it is saying this, the merit, which Shantideva said, that merit, that anger will going to destroy the merit, right? Merit. Within a merit, there are many types of merit, right? That you need to understand first. That's the one thing. And then the kind of like the destroyer, which is the anger. Destroyer, which is anger. That anger also has a kind of like its own limit, its own kind of like a power to complete its power to able to destroy that much amount of merit. So the anger here again, it is not just ordinary anger. Now it is also like that. The anger has also different level. The different level means that anger itself is not that really different. They hear that some explanation, it is differentiated by the object to whom you get anger. That makes different. This anger is same, I think, yeah. Anger, we shouldn't levelized. So we just leave it with anger. But that anger, to whom I get anger, that other person, the object, that object makes different power, this my anger. That this object change the power of anger. And then the kind of like the merit which is kind of like destroying by this anger. How it is destroying? Does it destroy it completely from its roots, or destroy means it is just postponing? What is that? That kind of different explanations, different descriptions are there. So to understand here this, first here it's saying all the good works gathered in the 1,000 age, such as a deed of generosity and offering to the blissful one and so forth, that merit. So this merit, normally this all 10 virtuous action. 10 virtuous actions are merit. And then here in the word, literally it is pointed out the activity, the action of generosity and action of offering. And so forth. That so forth, including this ordinary 10 virtuous actions. Okay? Ordinary 10 virtuous actions. Which means that we need to understand the how to say, that every time, accordance with this, what we are doing here, every time, we are trying to kind of like a generate bodhicitta in the beginning, and then in the middle, just the lowest way is just to contemplating on its activity. And then if we are able to make it better, then try while we are performing this activity, and try to let's have a sense of mirage and dream, like a dream. Or while we are performing, the greatest way is while we are performing all this virtuous actions, but to have a sense of this is kind of like a non-exist. We'll say just non-exist all this, the activities, not really grasping, but not it is just non-grasping that we are performing this meritorious activity, but yet we are performing this activity. Such that kind of things, actual engaging into meritorious. There are three different kind of like skills to engage into the actual merit. And then at the end, dedication. And then here, the merit which is talking about, the merit which is not dominated by dedication. That you need to understand. This is what it's merit talking about. The merit which is not dominant or not kind of like a mixed it. Huh? Silt. Oh yes, silt. We can say silt. Silt is, when we say silt, do you understand? Sealed by. What does it mean? Sealed by. Seal is normally you put some thumb, isn't it? On the things. It seals means now it is kind of like a belongs to somebody. Is it like that?
No, it's closed in, contained in.
Contained in. Oh, okay.
Like a container of jam. You put the lid on the jar, it seals the jam inside.
Yeah, sealed by dedication. The merit, even those ordinary merit like 10 virtuous actions and this generosity and offering, and then this morality, which is sealed by dedication, and these merits are exceptional now. Here merit, it is not including this type of merit. And absolutely that what in a Mahayana path, how they accumulating merit at the begin generating bodhicitta, in an actual try to kind of like not having a grasping or mediocre way, try to have a sense of mirage, at least just contemplating on its activity. And then at the end, dedicating. That type of Mahayana merit, absolutely not including in this merit. These are sealed by Mahayana merit. Okay? And not just Mahayana merit, but also the normal merit, which is not sealed by dedication. Not sealed by dedication merit. And then, normally many beings, and particularly human beings, yes, we do that. We do that. And then person who doesn't have even an idea, there are dedication and there are way of doing dedication. Then we just make sometimes we say dedication, but we just make aspiration. And then that's it. That we think this is dedication. So if we don't know the way of dedication properly, then that even though whatsoever I did, like those the good deeds, such as a 10 virtuous activity, and the among that kind of like an offering and keeping morality, discipline, self-discipline, all of this, if I just perform all this meritorious activity without dedication, then that becomes very ordinary merit, right? Ordinary merit means this we call Sunam Chatin Keva. That merit which can only gives the effect or the result accordance with it once and then finish. We're giving this example to understand this merit, how this merit works. And then we give this example of this water tree, such as a banana tree, right? Water tree means banana. The banana tree, it growing one banana, whole bunch of one banana. After that, this tree is useless and cut and throw and let grow some other tree. Now this same tree won't give fruit, right? So the ordinary merit means this one, which is Sunam Chatin Higewa. We call in Tibetan Sunam Chatin Higewa. Sunam Chatun, it has a meaning, Sunam Chatun. It is saying like Sunam is merit, Chatun is similar with this merit, it will give its fruition. If you protect others' life, you will get one time protect from others. Kind of like that. And then your merit of protecting, saving others' life is finished. It's fair. Now it's fair, isn't it? We call this fair and unfair. Right? This is fair. You did one, you get one. It's fair. You did one, get 100 times. It's not fair, isn't it? This ordinary merit means like that, which only have a potential to give its result or fruition accordance with it. Okay, accordance with its merit. And however, the point is not necessarily only one. The point is very few. Okay, few, limit number. Not limitless, very limit number of result or fruition given. And that's the point. So here, when Shantideva was saying this, all the good works gathered in the 1,000 age, such as a deed of generosity and offering to the blissful one. And that is the one you need to understand. It is definitely talking about this type of merit, the ordinary merit, which has only potential to produce accordance with its own result. No more than that. This type of merit it is talking about. None other than that. The merit which is sealed by dedication is not included here. The merit which is the Mahayana path, the merit which we accumulated through engaging into Mahayana path, it's not included here. Absolutely, then Vajrayana path, this merit, it's not included here. Those merit won't be able to destroy by this anger, because these merits are sealed already. Sealed by this dedication, sealed by this method and wisdom, therefore won't be able to destroy. Only the merit that able to destroy by this single moment of anger is the ordinary merit. That you need to understand. That's for sure. That is 100% sure. And then top of that, there's another kind of like a suspicion, doubt in here. Top of that, also some other, what it is saying like this kind of doubt is there. It is not making 100% sure, 100% clear, but it is saying here, since this Shantideva here, he mentions very particularly here this generosity and the offering actions, and generosity actions and offering actions, and then so forth, including this morality, discipline. These six kind of like the six this prajnaparamita practice has a different reason for how it is ordered. The one reason how it is ordered, it's because of the different amount of merit. The morality or the discipline is greater amount merit than generosity. And then patience is greater amount of merit than morality. And then diligence is more than that. And meditation is more than that. And then wisdom is highest one. That's how it is ordered. So therefore, some other suspicious, and then they answering in this way. It could be, we might can search about it, research about it, or analyze about it. Some scholar even saying, not just those merit which is sealed by dedication and the Mahayana path. Okay, so the even ordinary merit, even kind of like not sealed by dedication and the let's say Mahayanas kind of like a merit or Vajrayana merit. The patient and then diligent meditation and wisdom, through this whatever we have accumulated, this anger won't be able to destroy, because this anger has the potential to destroy only their lower merit, which are discipline and kind of like a generosity. Then patience itself is its antidote. So the merit which we accumulated by patience and anger won't be able to destroy it. And then merit which we accumulated by diligence and anger won't be able to destroy. And then merit which we accumulated by meditation, anger won't be able to. That kind of doubt is there, but this is not kind of like 100% answer. That kind of question is raising by this, through this stanza. Because it is saying the kind of like an amount which is kind of like the not equaling or the not low. Only the things can destroy his lower than his power can destroy by these things. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? And the merit which is more power than itself, its practice like this. The anger is the antidote of anger is patience. And then now diligent, the merit which we accumulated through diligence is much more greater than the patience, right? Than the patience, which means now anger doesn't have that power to destroy that merit, because it is above, it is not below. That kind of doubt is there. I'm not saying this is exact answer. That kind of another doubt is also there. But what you can really sure to understand from this here, the merit which is talking about, that for sure, this is talking about the ordinary merit. Okay, that ordinary merit. That's 100% sure. And then other one is not 100% sure. Other one is still question, still has to analyze, still has to research how it is make sense. And then here, anger. Anger itself, now as I told you earlier, that type of anger, it is saying the anger, the one single moment of anger, that anger, the anger which has the power to destroy this 1,000 eons merit of engaging into generosity and offer and discipline. Understand? The anger which have a power to destroy that merit, which is accumulated by engaging into those meritorious activity, that anger also should be the anger which is depending, which is related with the object, kind of like the what do you call saying like those object, like the bodhisattvas. That object, if you get anger, that the anger which you are getting towards bodhisattva, then that anger is the exactly that it has the power to destroy the literally that what Shanideva was saying, it's going in this way. It goes in this way. Means not the every anger. And then also saying that the same anger, if you get towards ordinary being, then it destroyed the 100 eons, not 1,000 eons. 100 eons accumulated merit can destroy by getting one moment of anger towards ordinary being. That's how they also differentiated the anger itself. That's not really anger itself, right? It is differentiated by object to whom you get anger. It also changes. It also makes different. But this is actually very difficult now. How we can understand that person to whom we get anger, he or she is ordinary or bodhisattva. That's very challenging. The fact it is there, information is there. But to differentiate that information, differentiate that accordance with its information, it is very tough. No one can predict that. So therefore, it is much better to just leave it. 1,000 eons merit will going to destroy. Which gives you a little bit extra care. Little bit extra care, maybe. Because 100 and 1,000 has a 900 different, right? 900 eons different. Maybe, little bit. So, but it's not really. However, that kind of information is there. And that kind of clarified is there. But to real understand the person to whom I am getting anger, that person is ordinary or bodhisattva, it is very hard to kind of like a judge. That's very tough. So just leave it like 1,000 eons merit. We're going to just buy single amount of merit, single amount of anger. Actually, it is there like that. Okay? So, but you need to understand this. This is important too. So there are some, maybe some chances are there, right? To whom you are getting anger. Hopefully that is ordinary, not the bodhisattva. And that also object makes different. That's what it is means, this the single flash of anger. And then now shatter them, right? Shatter them in English. What do you understand?
Shatters like glass. When you break glass, everything just falls apart.
Falls apart.
Yeah, it shatters, you know.
Shatter them.
Yeah, it splinters everything.
Like when you drop a cup on the floor.
It is talking about from its root,
Yes.
completely gone.
Completely unrecognizable.
Oh, completely gone. Shatter them. That is also has a doubt now. That also has a question. What does that mean? Does it mean it is removing by its root, or it is just postponing your this merit to give fruition? Or this angry is just drawing completely from its root to get rid of everything? Or it is just pushing away?
Shatter, it's gone.
Huh? Shatter is completely gone.
It's gone.
So yeah, that is also a question. That is also we need to research. There's also another question that we need to think, that how the shatter them, what's the meaning of shatter them here? In Tibetan also has the jongbar. Jongbar means destroy. Destroy. It will destroy. So now this stanza has to understand by this way, has to make it clear. Otherwise it is very complicated. Otherwise it discourages us. So this another one is also question. The third one is question. We need to research now. How does anger have a power to remove the completely from its root or not? Now this is another question. We need to think now this. This is something homework. I don't know. I don't know exactly this now. Whether it is destroying, for sure. But how it is destroying? Completely from its root, or just pushing away a little bit? But still seed is there, right? It destroyed all the branches, but still seed is there. It is like that, or it is not just on branch, also all completely removing all from its root. What is that now? Does anger have this kind of power? For sure, we already sure that merit which is sealed by dedication, that is cannot destroy. And then yes, Mahayana merit cannot destroy. Vajrayana merit cannot be destroyed by anger. The merit which anger can destroy is the ordinary merit. And then now, this ordinary merit, when anger destroys this ordinary merit, how anger destroying? It's anger destroying completely from its root, or it's anger destroying just the branches. Seed will going to be remain there. This is question. We can think, no rush to make decision here. They also didn't so rush to make this decision. They also keep it ready, leave it here a little bit to think about. However, this stanza is actually the showing the great fault of anger, which is very cognitive, which is not obvious one. That is clarifying this. The one greatest fault of anger, the cognitive fault of anger. Isn't it cognitive fault? Right? It is very cognitive, not just cognitive. It is very cognitive fault, anger. And then maybe we raise question, is that true? Such an anger can do that? And then this is raising question like, is that such an atom bomb can destroy Toronto? Like that. Is that true? Such an anger can destroy our 3 years relationship? Is that true? This anger can destroy the belief which is built it 10 years. Does this anger really can destroy that belief? And you can answer your own question by this. And this way we a little bit understand this cognitive fault of anger. So therefore, now here, and then this second stanza is related here. Therefore, now, to understand that great fault of anger, to understand this first stanza very well, and then, therefore, no evil is there similar to anger. It's saying, Shedanta Vritivame, Svebata Vikatubme, Deve Svela Nindendo, Natsu Tsuljikumbarsha. Therefore, no evil is there similar to anger, no austerity, is it? Austerity. No austerity to be compared with patience. Steep yourself, therefore, in patience in various ways, insistently. What is that actually? Steep yourself. I don't get it, this.
When you put a tea bag into hot water, that's steeping it.
What does it mean then?
It means to sort of like to completely immerse and absorb.
Absorb yourself into practice of patience?
Yes, completely submerge yourself into it and absorb.
Deve Svela Nintendo, Natsu Tsuljikumbarsha. Therefore, to the practice patience, you should instantly yourself to practice patience by utilizing various methods, various methods. Here, now also Shantideva making one point is making very clear by this second stanza is that he's absolutely not saying this patience is easy. He's saying this patience is so difficult. Right? He's saying this, no austerity to be compared with the patient. He's not saying this patient is something easy. But at the same time, he's saying the patient is very necessary because the opposition of patient, which is anger, there's no evil is there similar to anger. To understand that, even patient practice is very austerity, but you must. This is what it is. You must try. You must practice. You cannot, this is something you cannot skip. This practice patience by saying it is so hard. Now that Shantideva was completely removing this excuse from here. You cannot excuse this. If you excuse this, the first stanza, that's what you are going to get it. There's no evil like anger. No kind of like a bad than the anger. So therefore, it just makes sense. When itself is so strong, and then antidote should be very strong too. Right? Normally, that we say, to cut the metal, you need more stronger than metal. The antidote should be more stronger than metal, like maybe this diamond. The cutter should be diamond. Otherwise, it won't cut. So this anger is like a metal. To cut that metal, you need diamond. Diamond is like a patient. So therefore, to find the diamond is not easy. To get diamond is not easy. But you must, because you have this problem of metal. And this example is not completely similar, because the diamond, it is very limited in our planet. The patient is not limited. The patient, everyone can get each. There's no limit like diamond. That's different now, okay? Even though I'm giving you this example just to understand this diamond and metal, I give you an example just to understand that the things that which you want to destroy, if it is so strong, then you need to prepare the thing that which can destroy that thing even more stronger than thing itself. Only that meaning I want to give you by this example of metal and diamond. And as soon as you get that meaning, and then this example is gone, throw it out. Then don't try to apply this example to some others. Like, okay, that means also patient is difficult to find as a diamond. No. Patient is also a very limited amount in this planet. No. Then don't go that way. Example. As soon as you get that example, the meaning, then this example, purpose of this example is gone. Just leave it there. Don't try to apply this example to other meaning. It is true, isn't it? Diamond is limited. That's true. But patient practice, it's not limited. Everybody can do it. This is all through our mental. As long as person have a mind, can practice patience. Right? That's not similar now. As I am a human, I deserve diamond. No. Right? That's not true, right? But as long as I am human, I'm able to practice patience. That's true. Isn't it? I'm able to practice generosity. I'm able to practice morality. I'm able to practice patience. Because therefore it is saying one way, Dharma doesn't have an owner. No one owns Dharma. Very good thing in Dharma is that Dharma cannot own by private. No way. It's like a son. Son cannot own by one family. Son belongs to every being. And whoever have a better idea to utilize, they will get it. And whoever have a skillful to utilize Dharma, they will get it. Dharma. No one owns Dharma. That's the good thing. That part, it is different than diamond. Dharma is like a diamond on one hand, but it is not completely like diamond on the other side, which is not limited. But however, here now he's saying, the Shandadeva completely wants to remove this excuse or a scapegoat. He's saying, yes, no austerity to be compared with the patient. There's not much greater difficulty than practice patient. But you must steep yourself into the practice patient in a various way, insistently. Because if you don't do this insistently, steep yourself into the practice of patience, then your mind might get overpowered by anger. If so, then all those meaning of the first stanza is you are achieving. You are achieving this whole complete meaning of this first stanza. And not just first stanza, and later stanza as well. Okay? Later stanza as well. Not so to go shas. And then now from here, this stanza number 3, 4, and 5. This 3 stanza, Shandadeva introducing the fault of anger, the temporary fault of anger. Okay? Temporarily, or kind of like a, yes, we can say one way, temporarily fault of anger. And if some careless say, okay, this is something like that. If some careless person say, oh, I don't care my eons of marriage. Whether it is destroyed by anger or not doesn't matter. I will going to get anger. Then, now these are the answer to those persons who are very short-tempered, who are very narrow-minded, only accepting that what they're able to see it, what they're able to experience it. And to those, this is the answer. Above Shandadeva, until now, through this 2 stanza, what he explained it already is that the greatest fault of anger, that what it can be caused, what it can be done. Now from here, not just that, even for the momentarily, temporarily, anger also has many great faults, such as this one now. Shedang sungul semchana yeni shiwa nyamino. Gadang dewa mitokla imi onshin tenmen yu. So one stanza here. Then it is saying here now. If the anger only destroyed those previous the merit, is that all does by anger? Then here, no. Anger also does further job. further job, what anger could also done is this. Those tormented by the pain of anger. Actually, this torment, I think it should be like those who holding the anger. Actually, Shedan Sumisem Chana. The pain of anger, yeah. Those who holding the pain of anger, Shedan Sumisem Chana. Literally, it should be that way translation. I think, but it's still, if it is making, does it make sense? Those tormented by the pain of anger never know tranquility of mind. That's one thing. Never know tranquility of mind. Actually, in Tibetan word, it is not saying just no. It is saying, "Ini shiva nyam no." Here is never experiencing tranquility of mind. Never experience tranquility of mind. Which one is better? Never know tranquility of mind or never experience tranquility of mind? Both the same? Okay.
Do not to experience
Same.
in this context.
I see. Okay, so that's English word now, I think. So the know and experience, we differentiate this. Knowing and experiencing is two different things. Knowing is you just knowing, but you don't have a experience, right? Anyhow, so if you're understanding by it, this word, then that complete the meaning of word, purpose of word. The never know tranquility of mind, or we can say never experience tranquility of mind. And strangers, they will be to every pleasure, they will neither sleep nor feel secure. Okay, what are you getting it? Next two lines. Strangers, they will be to every pleasure, they will neither sleep nor feel secure.
When you're in a state of anger,
Mhm.
that's all you can experience is anger. It's such a raw emotion that you can't experience anything else. Nothing can enter your mind and nothing can influence you. When you truly experience that state of anger.
Strangers, they will be to every pleasure. What that mean?
There's no room for anything else. There's no room to feel anything else. There's no room to think of anything else. You're just angry.
Stranger, they will be to every pleasure.
So pleasures are a stranger to you. Then you're only fixed on this feeling of anger.
Oh, that's what it just mean?
Yeah.
Stranger, they will be to every pleasure. They will neither sleep nor feel secure. Let me tell you one thing, and then you try to understand. Make sense or not? Similar or not, okay? In Tibetan word, what we say here. So the first fault of anger, okay? The first fault of anger is never know tranquility of mind. That's the one fault. Here, Shantideva pointing out the temporary fault of getting anger, right? Temporary fault. So that's the one fault. And then the second fault is Gadam Devam Mitoblas. That's Gadam Devam Mitoblas. And also unable to achieve joy and comfort. This is related to your physical and mental. Joy, you won't be able to feel happy in your mind, and you won't be able to keep your body healthy. Gadam Devam Mitoblas. That's the second temporary fault of anger. And then, yes, they will neither sleep, able to sleep well. This is all now, we don't have to ask much question, right? We experience, maybe we already experienced this. Nor secure. Nor feel secure, nor able to be steady. Which one is better? Same? Nor able to be steady or nor feel secure. Mimi washing, tenme gyur. Tenme gyur is not steady, not stable, steady. Nor feel secure. Feel secure. Yeah, feel secure is also true, right? The experience of anger, temporary experience of anger. And then likewise, Kanda Northern Kurdi, Jinjin de la Tenjupa, the Dakani Danden the Jeben de la Subram woes. And then also another fault of anger for temporarily is even those dependent on their Lord for generous gifts of honors and of wealth will raise against and slay a master who is filled with wrath and hate. Clear, right? That's the one fault of getting anger, temporary fault. And then likewise also they zashe to jimbe dukan teni jays. All these ills are brought also what anger can bring forth is all these ills are brought about by wrath, our sorrow bearing enemy. What does it understand by these two lines? In Tibetan word, we don't have this ill, I think. Ill is kind of like a disease, isn't it, right? Disease, ill. Suffer? Ill can refers to suffer as well. Oh, no, sorry. I jumped it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, I jumped it here. So, his family and friends, he grieves, is it? His grieves and is not served by those his gift attract. What does it mean? What do you understand by this? Tell me. So I will see how you understand it. Actually, these are not so difficult to understand.
You can be generous. Somebody can be very, very generous, but if they are moody, angry, people might still come to them for generosity, but they'll back away from it. They won't actually fully be of great benefit to them because they'll be frightened of them. If you're untrustworthy, if you're angry, an angry person.
Yeah, even this thing, even your own family and friends. Yeah. Even your family and friends will not going to, you may have this magnetized power to get some attraction from them through your generosity, but on the other hand, being so angry person and may that attraction will going to remove or destroy. That is also very kind of like a very obvious, isn't it? It is happening within family and even maybe within our friend. We see them, right? Very clearly when we can see like this children, when mama said, when baba said, oh, then children move away immediately, right? Kids move away immediately. That's very short reaction that we can see this meaning. Anger does that. Isn't it? When father gets mad and angry, what children does? Run away from father, right? Not just stay around father. Even normally he gets everything from Father, but at that moment, he doesn't want to come close to Father. That's the exact meaning. But for the long run, it is completely different now, right? Being always mad and anger, then you never get support and friends nearby, close by. They always want to stay a little bit distance to you. Even though you're providing everything to them, but they're still going to hesitate to get close to you. Then yes, well, this is what it means. So therefore, in short, Dorna, Trove, Dharmeva, Tenikaya humans. Therefore, now Shandideva was trying to concluding here. Therefore, in brief, in short, no one is there all in all who being anger lives at ease. Lives at peace. Live at happiness. Or yes, whatsoever. In Tibetan word we call Dharma Trove Dharmavas. In brief, in short, by getting angry but still remaining happy. There's no one in this world. Remaining happy and angry is completely contradictory. That's what Shandideva is saying. In short, person who is being angry, 100% sure they won't be able to remain in ease. So these are the temporary fault of. And this to the answer to those people who doesn't care about, okay, if the angry destroy my previous eons of marriage, then doesn't matter. If you say that, then that's angry only not how to say angry, not only doing that, angry also does this kind of like a day-to-day life disturbance as well. So therefore, he already said there's no excuse to get rid of or the avoiding angry. You should practice patience to get rid of or remove anger. Tuindai de las os. Okay, maybe we stop here. Okay, just stop here. And if you have a question, we can discuss. Yes.
Cognitive, do you mean not obvious? What do you mean? Cognitive.
Cognitive is, yeah, it is not obvious one. So previous life is cognitive, isn't it? Cognitive means not obvious, right? Isn't it?
Cognitive.
Cognitive.
Cognitive is a quality of mind and consciousness.
Oh yeah?
Yes.
Well, then I'm wrong then. I'm describing all this so many times cognitive, then all I'm saying wrong.
But anger is a quality of mind, isn't it? Right?
No, normally we use this cognitive obscuration, right?
Yeah, it's hidden.
Hidden, yeah. Cognitive is hidden, right? Does it mean hidden?
It's an aspect of it. Like,
which is not some obvious, not obvious one that which you can predict easily.
yes.
It is so hard to predict, so hard to understand, so hard to see. That's what I mean by saying this cognitive all the many words, many times.
Conceal.
Conceal. Yeah, maybe conceal or hidden.
Conceal.
Mind. So it's hidden. You don't really see it because it's what it pertains to the method of thinking and reasoning. You can't see it.
Does this word can relate it with this stanza?
No.
No.
No, I think you're choosing the wrong word.
So, what do you think? Which word? Which vocabulary?
For which stanza did you?
The first stanza. The first stanza is actually, Shantideva was telling us the hidden fault of anger, right? Hidden fault of anger, or the concealed fault of anger.
Yeah.
That's better.
Yes. But,
Fault of anger.
yeah. But conceal is the same. You're using the same word. Same meaning, different word. Same meaning.
So you get it, see? That's what I mean. Okay, then I shouldn't use this cognitive here.
Not here, no.
So maybe better this just concealed
Yeah,
or hidden fault of anger.
Yeah.
To reveal the hidden fault of anger.
that makes sense, yeah.
I see. To reveal the hidden fault of anger, I gave you those examples. Building a relationship, building a house, building city, and all this. And destroying is how it's easy. Does this example a little bit help us to understand its meaning? How it is possible? Otherwise, this is something kind of unimaginable. How this one moment of anger can destroy this 1,000 years of merit? Huh?
It's very easy to understand because you can do so much damage in a moment of anger.
In a moment of
So much knowledge can happen in a moment of anger.
Yeah. And then
But then sometimes we have moments of anger that are not, don't really seem to be worth talking about, like somebody, when you're driving your car and somebody stops suddenly, you have this, oh, get out of my way kind of thing. It's related to anger. It's not really anger because you get over it in a second.
no, it is still anger.
It's still anger.
Yeah, that's why it is showing moment of anger. See, moment of anger. See, therefore, here, Shantideva was saying, you need to practice the patience, right? Steep yourself. Steep yourself what? Steep yourself, therefore, in patience. Why they choose like this? Therefore, in between, right? Steep yourself in practice patience. Huh? Is it better to remove that therefore from there? Huh? No, it has to be there.
Therefore means arising from what you just said. Therefore it means arising from.
Steep yourself, therefore, in patience. And what did it say? In patience.
In patience. In various ways.
The various ways. Yeah, you see here.
Consistently.
They was saying here, various ways. Because there's a various conditions makes you anger, like a crashing car and stealing your cycle's wheel. So many various ways to make you anger. So therefore, they also say you need to practice this patience in a various way.
getting angry. Say, I'm on the elevator, I'm reading on my phone, and the woman gets angry. She said, someone is always on the phone all the time, and then we walk, and she walks behind people nowadays always on the phone. So should I stop her from getting angry, or should I just keep doing what I do?
Well, that's very simple. If you could avoid, then yes, do it. If you cannot, and then that is also very rational, reasonable for you, then that person, that's his or her own responsibility to not get angry on you.
So better stop?
Huh?
Better stop?
That's option. If you don't have to look your phone, if it's not so much necessary, important, then you just, okay, to save her to not get angry to you, don't use it, your phone. If I must use my phone, right, and then other person getting angry or not, that's other person. I don't have anything to do with it. Even you angry, I must use, isn't it? This is something I have important thing.
Must, but I want to see her.
Huh?
It's not a must. It's not a must to read.
Not must to read phone?
Yeah.
Well, then go read that. Now finish. Right? If it is not must, then put your phone in your pocket.
So you think sometimes it's good that if you can stop, you can do something.
Yeah, if you can do, then that's good. And then just do it. And if you cannot, that's their own responsibility. Actually, that's their responsibility to not get angry on you. When you look your phone, that's their responsibility to not get angry on you. But still, if they are getting it, you knowing it, then if you could, to stop their angry, then just don't use in front of them. Then if you cannot, then that's not really big deal either. That's their responsibility to not get angry, not yours. It is your responsibility you do not get angry to others. That's your responsibility. You cannot really enter into others' conscious, others' mind, right?
So when the result of being angry and being angry towards an ordinary person, in a lot of ways, there is no such thing as an ordinary person because different people are on different levels of spiritual practice, development, not only Buddhists, Muslims, Christians, and all the others. So would the result be different if you were angry towards a person on the spiritual path?
As long as if they are not Bodhisattva, then considering as ordinary category. If they have Bodhicitta, then they considering as a Bodhisattva category.
If they have bodhicitta.
Compassion is not sufficient to have a Bodhicitta, right?
Compassion is not
Sufficient to have a Bodhicitta.
No, I think you need wisdom as well.
Yes, so therefore.
Two more questions. So it shows that sometimes situation there, you just have the raw emotion, something or somebody, and you think you get angry. But sometimes those situations, it just, I shouldn't say naturally, but it just comes up. And our goal is to not have even the raw emotion.
Anger.
Like our goal is not only like not contemplating, but also even to that situation Sean mentioned, we shouldn't have the raw emotion, the reaction. Is it like through practice, your goal is to achieve that? Even somebody hit you, the immediate reaction, we will want to attain that state that we don't feel angry right away.
Yeah. That's the goal.
So anger, that is anger.
Sean, you said that's anger?
I mean, like you said, somebody suddenly stop, they get angry, or sometimes I'm afraid of spiders. I see spider, I feel dislike. And all of this should be.
Dislike is not really anger, right? Anger starts from there.
Yeah.
But disliking is, okay, I don't like.
And then I try to remove it. I hurt that being. More and more.
Yeah. However, the bottom line is anger is not allowed. Any kind of circumstances.
And how do we train in the situation Sean mentioned, like even the raw emotion don't come up?
How we train, yes, this all skills will going to show later, but some skills already shown here by understanding the fault of anger. That's the one skill, to reflecting on the fault of anger. What anger can bring to me if I get anger. And if you want this all result doesn't bothering you, then you can get anger. But still, this is the one skill that Shantideva was pointing out, the fault of anger, indirectly suggesting you to avoid anger. Right? It is like something that even the place or wheresoever, okay, let's say, for instance, don't take that as a kind of like a discriminating, okay? But I'm just giving you this example to understand. Let's say some of the Middle East country right now, it is going war, right? Conflict there, right? And then now somebody is telling you're willing to go there, that exactly that country where war is going on. And then someone's suggesting or telling you, oh, being in that country has that and that and that and so and so and so dangerous. And will you still willing to go? So that alone is enough for you to avoid to going there. Right? Just like that here, this Shantideva, so far what he pointing out is the fault of being angry. So do you want to have those lost and experience? Right? Yeah. So if you don't want to lost and this experience, then what you need to do is to avoid getting angry. Actually, this itself is the one skill giving you to avoid anger. And then later again, Shantideva gives more skill, how to practice patience, how to reduce anger.
The second question is for the usual practice, let's say we do yoga, whatever, we go through the formal process you do it and you dedicate. So when you practice patience, it's like something come up, then you practice patience. So it doesn't have the bodhicitta, the middle part, dedication, don't have the three components. Am I right?
Yeah, that now you can dedicate. If you feel it that, oh, I did practice patience, immediately you can dedicate, no problem. But it is also okay to dedicate even after 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour. Doesn't matter as long as you didn't get angry between those periods. So what you can do is like that, as to the shown, it is possible to not get angry, a moment of angry a day, right? Let's say, right? For instance, then say, morning we do Guru Yoga practice, refuge, generic Bodhicitta. And then this Bodhicitta is germinating or mixing all our meritorious activity. Even those neutral can be transformed into, right? This meritorious activity, it is transformed into the cause of enlightenment, right? And you keep doing it. And if you want to dedicate, meanwhile, because of the dangers of anger, you can do dedication. Even if not, if it is possible, like Sean saying that, okay, I can maintain without getting mad and angry a day, then at the end of the night, day, when you go bed, you can dedicate all the merit this today, whatever you did. But to just to make sure very secure, then every after practice we dedicating. So we don't mess up our merit. That's the purpose of dedicating immediately. That's the one purpose, right? Dedication has a many purpose. The one purpose is not to mess up. Is it messed up? Not to mess up. Mass. Not to mess up. Okay, we dedicate. You see, we need to dedicate before we get angry. Sanam de tamje zibani, pomne nibe dranam pamje ni, chegananji walam dubai, sibe zolendo ando varsho, jambal bawe jidara kembana, kundu sambo te ante shinde, neda gunje jesu ndalo jin, gewa deda tamje radomo, gewa de yeshe okun, Sanam Yeshe Sodone, Sanam Yeshe Lejonwe, Tamba Kuni Pabarasho, Sanje Nibe Jinlanda, Chunye Mingyur Dembe Shinlanda, Gendin Meche Dembe Jinlanda, Jadara Moa Melam Drabarsho. By this beneficial activity, may I obtain omniscience. And having vanquished the harmful enemy, greed, anger, delusion, may I liberate all beings tossed about helplessly by the waves of age, birth, aging, illness, and death in the ocean of becoming. By conforming to the knowledge of prodigious Manjushri, Jambalyam, and in the same way as Samandabhadra, Kundusambu, and following their example, I dedicate perfectly all these virtues. By this virtue, may all beings perfectly achieve the accumulation of merit, sonam, and wisdom, yeshin, and may they thereafter obtain the two holy bodies, which result from these two accumulations. By the blessing of the Buddha, Sangye, who obtained the three bodies, by the blessing of the immutable truth of the Dharmata, Chuni, by the blessing of the infallible assimilation of the Sangha, Yenden, May this prayer of dedication be accomplished just as it is. And then now we will not going to have 3 weeks this teaching. Next weekend we're not going to have this teaching. And then next 2 weekend is Kempo give this shamatha teaching for 10 days. As you can see in our this flyer. So therefore we don't have this 3 weeks. From next 3 weekend we won't have this Bodhicharayavatara. Okay. Mm-hmm.